Hey guys, this is Mr. Pearson. What we want to do right now is we're going to talk about the Earth and how it moves. And there are actually two different movements that we want to talk about. The first one, let me hold it up here. The first one is rotation. We're going to talk about rotation here in just a second. I'm going to tell you all about it, what it does, and how it affects us and that type of thing. The other type of movement that I want to show you, what I want to talk to you about, is called revolution. And revolution is very important as well. We touched on it a bit a day or so ago, but we're going to talk about it some more here in just a minute. All right, let's start off. We're going to talk about rotation. Let me hold my fancy sign up here again. Rotation. It's a big, important R word. You got to remember that. Rotate. All right, so the Earth, we know the Earth is a circle, and right smack through the middle, I'm going to scratch my head here for a second. Right smack through the middle, we have this big stick. You can think of it like a popsicle stick or a lollipop stick. And you've heard of the North Pole and the South Pole. Well, the North Pole and the South Pole, they don't actually exist. They're not really there. But I guess they're kind of imaginary. We can't really go to the North Pole and say, hey, look, there's this big pole here. But that North Pole and that South Pole is the axis. The axis is this invisible stick that's through the center of the Earth. And the Earth rotates, or it spins on the axis. So if you've ever taken something that's on a string and you spun it around real fast like this and it spins around, that's called rotation. Now, why is rotation important? Rotation, as the Earth rotates or spins around on its axis, that's the reason that we have day and night. We have day and night because the Earth is rotating on its axis. So the Earth rotates and it goes like this. And in the morning when we wake up and we see the sun come up, that's because the Earth, where we are, is rotating. It's moving toward the sun, and it's continuing to rotate. And then as we start to move away from the sun, it looks to us, it's not actually happening, but it looks to us like the sun is setting, like the sun is going down. What's really happening is the Earth is rotating. It's spinning on its axis, and we're spinning, so we're away from it. When you and I, where we are here, where we are in the northern hemisphere, when we're having daytime, folks on the other side, we're also in the western hemisphere, so we could say when folks here where we are in the western hemisphere, when we're having daytime, folks in the eastern hemisphere on the other side of the planet, they're having nighttime. So when it's daytime for us, like it is when you should be watching this video, it's going to be nighttime for them. And then later on today, or whenever you're watching this, later on when you're getting ready for bed and you're getting, brushing your teeth and doing those things, as you're getting ready to go to bed, folks on the other side, in the eastern hemisphere, they're actually getting ready to get up. They're actually getting ready to get up and go to school or do what it is that they do. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I'm going to say it again. As the Earth is rotating on its axis, it takes it 24 hours for it to do that. So rotation, let me grab my sign here again. Rotation is the Earth spinning on its axis, that invisible stick that goes from north to south. It takes it 24 hours to do that. Now, the other type of movement that I mentioned, is called revolution. And revolution is when the Earth travels around the sun. So there's this invisible path, lots of invisible things. We can't actually see them. We can't go up into space and see it. But lots of revolution is when the Earth travels on this invisible path around the sun. That path is called an orbit, and everything that moves around something has an orbit. So if you and I were to go outside to the track and we were to put something in the middle of the field there on the track and we were to run around the track would be our orbit. It would be the path that we took as we revolved or completed one revolution. It takes about 365 days, or 1 year, for us to complete one revolution. So if there was some way we could mark where the Earth started, we could say, okay, let's put a big flag right here in space, put a big invisible space flag, if we had a space flag. If we put a big invisible space flag there, we could track as we were revolving around the sun. When we got back to that flag, we would know it had been about 1 year. Now, why is revolution important? Revolution is important because it helps us to know, or it's the reason why we have the seasons. I told you about the axis a minute ago. The axis is not actually straight up and down. It's actually kind of tilted like this. And because it's tilted, sometimes where we are on the earth is close pointed toward the sun, and sometimes it's pointed away. So that tilt and the revolution, the moving around on the orbit around the sun, tells us what season it is. When we're at a certain place in the orbit and the earth is pointed toward the sun, that's when we're experiencing summer. And those, since we live in the northern hemisphere, you and I, folks that are down in the southern hemisphere, when the earth is pointed, when we're pointed toward the sun, they're pointed away, we're having summer, they're having winter. All right, but as it continues to move around the orbit, and as the earth continues to revolve around the sun, move around the sun, eventually we're going to get to a place where we are actually pointing away from the sun. And when we point away from the sun, what's happening is that we're experiencing winter, because we're not getting as much of the sun's light. We're not getting as much of the heat. It's harder for that heat energy to get to the earth and do those types of things. And so because of that, we're having winter. But remember, when we're having winter, when we were having summer, the folks in the southern hemisphere, they were having winter. And now, because when the earth is tilted away, because we're having winter, they're pointed toward the sun, and so they're having summer. Now, when I say that, there are actually 4 seasons. You know what those seasons are. There's winter, there's summer, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Let me start over. There is winter, there is spring, there is summer, and there's fall. And it always goes in that pattern. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Sometimes we call it autumn. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. Each one of those seasons, we know, lasts about 3 months. So winter, it starts on December 21st. That's the one that we're going to be having here where we are soon, December 21st. It goes December, January, February. Those are our winter months. Then spring will start about March 21st. And so when that happens, we will have spring, and that'll go March, April, and May. Then in June, about June 21st, we're going to have summer, and that'll go June, July, and August. And then in September, around September 21st, that's the first day of autumn, and autumn will go September, October, November. When the earth, because of its axis, because it's tilted, when we're tilted toward the sun, our days are longer. We have longer days. We have more light. When it's tilted away, then we have less light, and so our days are shorter. All right, so let's review one more time very quickly. Let me grab my card here. The first one here we have is rotation. And rotation is the earth spinning on its axis. And it takes it about 24 hours to do that. And that's the reason why we have a sunset, we have a sunrise. Spinning on the axis is why we have day and night. All right, the other one, hoping that's not upside down. There, it's not upside down. We have revolution. And we have revolution because the earth is traveling on an orbit, that's that invisible path around the sun. It takes it about 365 days, or 1 year. It takes about 1 year to complete one revolution, and that revolution is the reason why we have seasons. All right, hope you got all that. If not, you can watch the video again. Thanks. Bye.